Today's story is about a black CEO who tried to buy an armored SUV but was denied. The truth behind the incident will shock you. Stay with me till the end. A black businessman tried to buy an armored SUV from a dealership in Florida, but he was denied the purchase despite having the money. Brown arrived at the dealership in a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a luxury car that costs approximately $800,000. He entered the dealership and immediately asked to speak to someone about buying one of their armored vehicles. However, he didn't specify which vehicle he wanted or even ask for a test drive, which made the salesperson suspicious. The salesperson who attended to him sensed that something was off and noticed that Brown was wearing a bulletproof vest under his jacket. This raised red flags, and when the salesperson inquired about it, Brown simply stated that he liked the way it looked. This response only added to the salesperson's suspicions, and he became more cautious. When Brown insisted on paying cash for the vehicle, normally this would be seen as a positive thing, but in this case, the salesperson became suspicious. The salesperson had previously witnessed a similar scenario where a drug dealer tried to buy an armored vehicle and pay cash. When the police arrived, they discovered that the vehicle was stolen and the buyer was wanted for questioning in connection with a murder. The salesperson was hesitant to sell the vehicle to Brown, and he requested additional information such as Brown's driver's license and proof of insurance. Brown refused to provide any identification, claiming that he didn't have it with him, and he insisted that the transaction be completed quickly, even offering to pay an additional $100,000 over the vehicle's price tag. The salesperson was still suspicious and decided to call the police after Brown left the dealership in his Rolls-Royce without making a purchase. Upon receiving the call, the police arrived at the dealership and searched Brown's Rolls-Royce. They found 2 loaded guns and several boxes of ammunition. Brown was then arrested and charged with possession of a firearm while committing a felony. He was also charged with improper exhibition of a firearm. Brown's arrest raised questions about why he needed such a large amount of ammunition and why he tried to buy an armored vehicle. The police investigation revealed that Brown had recently been involved in several disputes with other music industry executives, including Diddy. There was even a rumor that Brown had put a hit out on Diddy, although this was never proven. The police also discovered that Brown had been planning to travel to Diddy's house in Los Angeles and were convinced that he intended to harm Diddy. Brown was later released on bail, and the charges against him were dropped. After, Diddy refused to cooperate with the investigation. Brown's attorney argued that there was no evidence that Brown had threatened Diddy and that the charges against his client were baseless. Despite this, the experience left Brown shaken, and he had to hire security for himself and his family. Floyd Brown is a successful entrepreneur and the founder and CEO of the entertainment company Hit Committee. He has worked with some of the biggest names in the music industry, including Lil Wayne, Usher, and Nelly. Brown is also the owner of several nightclubs in Atlanta. He is also the CEO of Disturbing the Peace Records, which was founded by rapper and songwriter Chris Ludacris Bridges. However, Brown left the company in 2006 to pursue other opportunities. In 2011, Brown launched his own record label called Hit Committee, which has since become a major player in the music industry. The company has a distribution deal with BMG Rights Management and has released several chart-topping albums. Some of the artists signed to Hit Committee include Gucci Mane, Ojeda Jugo, Young Scooter, Rocco, and Yo Gotti. Despite his success in the music industry, Brown's financial status is not publicly known. However, reports indicate that he is a millionaire. Let's take a look at some of the SUVs available in the market today. Another option is the Toyota Land Cruiser, which starts at around $90,000. This SUV is known for its durability and off-road capabilities, and it can be customized to include armor plating and other safety features. An armored Land Cruiser can cost anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000 depending on the specifications. Finally, there are some less expensive options such as the Ford Expedition, which starts at around $53,000. However, these vehicles cannot be heavily armored without significantly increasing the price tag. A Ford Expedition with basic armoring features can cost around $100,000. Considering Brown's budget, he could have purchased a Cadillac Escalade, a Toyota Land Cruiser, or a Ford Expedition with some armoring features. However, the exact price of the vehicle he wanted is not known. The vehicle he attempted to buy from the dealership is likely to be worth several $100,000 due to its armored nature. While it's not uncommon for wealthy individuals to purchase armored vehicles, It's unusual for them to do so without providing proper identification or explanation. Brown's attempt to buy an armored vehicle without any identification raised red flags for the dealership employees who had dealt with similar situations in the past. Their suspicions were further aroused by Brown's insistence on completing the transaction quickly and his offer to pay a premium for the vehicle. The police were right to investigate Brown and his actions as he posed a potential threat to the safety of himself and others. The discovery of the loaded guns and ammunition in his vehicle provided evidence of his intent to cause harm. The charges against Brown were eventually dropped due to lack of cooperation from Diddy, which raised concerns about the justice system and the influence of wealth and power. Despite this, the incident highlighted the need for proper vetting of individuals who purchase firearms and armored vehicles. Floyd Brown's attempt to purchase an armored SUV from a car dealership in Florida ended up being a tense standoff that resulted in his arrest. Brown, who is the founder and CEO of the entertainment company Hit Committee, was denied the purchase despite having the cash to pay for it. The incident occurred when Brown entered the dealership and asked to speak to someone about purchasing an armored vehicle. The salesperson who attended to him became suspicious when he noticed that Brown was wearing a bulletproof vest under his jacket and refused to provide any identification. The salesperson called the police, who searched Brown's vehicle and found 2 loaded guns and several boxes of ammunition. Brown was arrested and charged with possession of a firearm while committing a felony and improper exhibition of a firearm. However, the charges were later dropped after Diddy refused to cooperate with the investigation. Brown's attempt to buy an armored SUV raises questions about the ease with which individuals can acquire such vehicles and the vetting process in place to ensure public safety. It also highlights the importance of cooperation in criminal investigations and the potential consequences of failing to do so. What are your thoughts on the story? Let us know in the comment section below. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more interesting stories like this. See you next time.